We did it. We did it. It's happening. It's happening. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. I woke up to so many texts being like, I'm not going to say what, Manny, but I want to check out that Nintendo Direct Mini. And I'm kicking myself because I wanted to put it out into the ether that, like, if there was ever going to be a Battle Network announcement, it would happen at the Direct. But I didn't because I didn't want to get depressed to start off the week. And here it is. It's real. So we got a lot of Xbox news to get into today. How does this tie into things? I'll explain that. Selfishly so, while I know it's not the most important news beat, I want to talk about this first. There's no way I can maintain a cool head when Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection is here front and center. We got to talk about it and how it's not coming to Xbox. We also have updates on Persona 5 Royal for you Game Pass users, and for those interested in physical copies, you may want to pay attention. 343 is looking to piss off more Halo fans with microtransactions, and I swear, man, it's just some days they must get out of bed and go like, what can we do to screw this up some more? Because this decision-making process, I don't understand. We'll talk about that. And Xbox has outsold PlayStation 5 in Japan. Again? Let's get into the story a bit deeper on why exactly this may have happened. If you're new here, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, for supporting the channel. Because you support the channel, I have a brand new chair here. And my lower back for my $50 Amazon chair will no longer kill me. So thank you for that. Appreciate you all. And to those of you subscribing and joining what we're doing here, thank you. With that, let's get into today's news. Starting off with the biggest, the hottest, the most exciting one. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. It is real. I, alongside a small community, have been pushing Capcom to do this. Capcom has done the Legacy Collection 2, the X Legacy Collection, the Zero and ZX Collection, and now all we needed was Legends, Battle Network, Star Force, and God willing, X Command Mission, and they will have done it. The absolute madmen will have done it. So, next on my list, the one that I grew up with was the Battle Network Collection. This was my childhood. When I quit Pokemon after Pokemon Emerald, this is where your boy went. I went on the exodus to the net world. Battle Network is incredible because it's not only a really awesome world, like in the near future where everyone's connected with these devices online, but instead of Mega Man being this side-scroller, it's like this action-packed strategy game where you're loading in chips, which are kind of like cards. Think of Slay the Spire in a way, but you're moving around a grid, so there's still, like, again, action on screen, and every one of these characters that you're familiar with are actually programs, and you can enter the internet from all these different devices, whether it be like an oven, a microwave, an electrical outlet. So there was like a level of immersion. It's so cool. I say all of that to get you interested, but unfortunately, if you're an Xbox fan, you're not going to get it. Why did I put this in the video, though, is to talk about just that. Capcom has brought the Mega Man collections to Xbox all the way through, dating back to the Legacy Collection, all the way up to the Zero Collection. And the only gauge I can imagine they go off of with the Battle Network Collection is sales expectations versus the resources they have to dedicate to this project. And I can't blame it being a Game Boy Advance exclusive series because Zero, the whole Zero series, was on Game Boy Advance. ZX was on the DS, and they found a way and they brought it to Xbox alongside everywhere else. Now, maybe given that was the last Mega Man collection they brought over, they saw the data for that and went, okay, we're not going to do that again. That did not sell well for us. But it's unfortunate. It's why I tell people all the time now, after the Persona announcement for Xbox, that I'm still hesitant to fully buy into Xbox getting every Japanese game day and date. Mega Man may not be pumping out games quite as often as he did, you know, with the early 2000s, where it was like a Mega Man game multiple every year, and it was incredible. What a time to be alive. I swear I was like the only one who was loving all of that action. Now it's died off. It's cooled off considerably, but it's still popular. There's still a nostalgia factor, and Capcom, I think, is effectively weaponizing that. You'd think this would be a slam dunk, like an obvious get for Xbox. It's not. Really sad to see. I probably would have, in all honesty, bought it on PlayStation anyway, because your boy wants this platinum. He wants this platinum more than anything. I have the entire collection physically. I have it, as you saw right here, the first game. This is my holy grail. This is not. This did not come cheaply, so I hold this series near and dear to my heart. I'm so happy it's coming back, but very disappointed to learn Xbox is not getting in on the fun. So this is coming to you, as the news write-up says, Switch, PS4, and PC. So another situation where it's literally everywhere but Xbox. And I'm hoping Xbox's commitment to Japan does show that perhaps developers can buy in with confidence into bringing stuff to their platform, but also they can nurture their consumers to buy these games on their platform. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit of news here, talking about 343. So they posted, very transparently, may I add, on a Halo Waypoint, what they're planning to do internally, at least right now, with the Master Chief Collection, which has absolutely taken the Halo world by storm over the years, and at this point now is more played than Halo Infinite. So they write, Spartan Points. As we've shifted away from seasons, what has previously been named Season Points, earned by completing challenges and leveling up to unlock items, will eventually be renamed Spartan Points in a future update. Over the years that the MCC has continually been supported with new content, the game has now over 1,000 individual customization items spanning armor, attachments, nameplates, weapon and vehicle skins, armor effects, firefight voices, and more. That's quite a lot. Now, be very cognizant of the fact that they're saying all this to justify the next statement we're about to read, okay? They may go, we know this may not be something you're crazy about, but they're trying to win you over before saying it. It's like, you know, when you were younger, convincing your parents, you know, of something that you wanted to do, and maybe buttering them up a little bit by like doing your chores ahead of time, so that when you drop, they're like, hey, can I sleep over Stevie's house or something like that? They're like, well, dang, he really took care of business today. I guess we can allow it. It kind of has that energy. So let's read the next paragraph. For players who are new to the MCC, or who may not have dedicated much time specifically to unlocking items during the seasonal updates, or are simply completionists looking to catch the last outstanding items they need, we are internally exploring a potential new feature for the future in the form of purchasable Spartan Points. It is prudent to note here that we are happy with the current system of how players earn Spartan Points by completing challenges and leveling up through play. This would be an optional, additional alternative for players who might find the vast scope of content to be intimidating for the amount of playtime and want to get ahead on or skip the grind, or maybe want to grab specific items they want. We have all of our favorites. In the interest of transparency with our dedicated and passionate community, we wanted to inform you of this possible exploration in advance and provide assurance that purchasable Spartan Points would be an additive feature. We will have more information to share about this in the future. Two things before I effectively pop off. First, in fairness, I do want to say this. Season 8 of Master Chief Collection is the final season for Master Chief Collection. So with that, they're sort of putting a bow on everything. And it's worth knowing that this isn't really a precedent to support future content, but rather, when they wrap it up, this is how the product will be left. For me, as you'll hear in a moment, that aggravates me an incredible amount. Secondly, the reason why I'm more frustrated is the mess that 343 effectively is. I want to tie in a separate story before we go back into MCC's microtransactions, where Video Game Chronicles writes, Halo Infinite's melee desync isn't being fixed because devs have been allocated elsewhere, 343 says. So over on Reddit, there was video examples shown of the melee collision for Infinite being incredibly broken. And the reason for that is because the client and the server think the players are in different positions, so it's just not registering when you're trying to do a melee attack. And of course, that's frustrating because you might lose out on a kill, you may die because the game is failing you, and there's no worse feeling than that. So over on that Reddit post, a member of 343, Brian Berryhill, the senior sandbox designer, took time to reply to this. Again, I do commend 343 for their transparency, saying, just wanted to comment that we appreciate these types of compilations. Videos like these always get pulled into the bug/task threads for UCN networking improvements. I don't know if Twitter or Reddit is the best place to go into all the details about why, but there's been a lack of UCN improvement. There's a lot of factors, so I'll keep it brief. The TLDR of it is that devs who would work on these features have been allocated to other Infinite work. Their work had some knock-on benefit to our UCN solution, especially around movers like players, vehicles, etc., on object devices like elevators, pistons, bridges, etc., but not around the melee and around the wall shots. These devs are coming home to the sandbox soon, hopefully. The community and competitive insights teams have done an amazing job at letting us know how frustrating these kinds of fixes. So yeah, not only is there trouble on the home front with MCC, their kind of standing sole successful game, but now Infinite, which has been a mess since launch, is having many things like melee desync become a major problem. So to me, it's taking the product that is standing strong on its 2 feet, Halo MCC, where it's garnering a larger and larger player base, standing as the example of this is the Halo we all love, that has everything from the campaigns to the firefights to the multiplayer, all in one sweet package, now possibly being impacted. But now with that stated, let's rant. So all I'm going to say is this right now. They are going to go ahead with this. And there is no bigger, this is going to be a little bit of a plot twist when I say this, there is no bigger nail in the coffin right now for Halo Infinite than now, after the launch of Infinite, putting microtransactions inside MCC. To me, this is a strong sign of weakness. A strong sign. Because I don't think, with how heavily monetized Infinite was and how they dialed it back and how they're trying to recoup the player base again and how everyone's gone over to MCC, that they're trying to now monetarily capitalize over there because Infinite isn't generating the big bucks it probably should have. And how could it with how low the player base is because of the lack of support there? So now they're going to the place where support has been fantastic and the infrastructure that they had laid out for progression, for cosmetics, for content, everything in the MCC, they could have just brought right over to Infinite, as many of us expected. They did not do that. Now they're going over there, and they're contaminating what was a failed project at launch that they did a phenomenal job bouncing back with, recovering this thing, constantly adding free content, borderline to some over-delivering, but that was the key, right? That was the key to bringing faith to Halo, was over-delivering, showing how much you as a developer love this franchise, how much you as a developer will go to the length of making it better by grabbing Halo 3 maps that never released and bringing them to the game in 2021. That's insane. That's unheard of. That's exciting. And then to retroactively now, all these years later, when the player base is booming because of your support, add in microtransactions because the previous Halo game is currently failing. I'm not going to call it a failure because of its player count totally with 20+ million players and the fact that there is a very good core game there that I enjoyed a lot, but the support has been abysmal. And the fact that y'all are deciding to add microtransactions now, you look weak. Weak. You're owned by Microsoft. I can't fathom the idea that you're this desperate that you've got to monetize 343's Master Chief Collection to make a quick couple of bucks off of Halo fans. Because not only that, the grind, if you will, I put this in quotes, to get Spartan points inside MCC, I don't know what y'all are talking about with grind. To me, 343 is trying to sell us on something that doesn't exist. I play MCC a lot. I get so many Spartan points from playing the campaign, from playing multiplayer. I'm just buying up cosmetics left and right throughout all the seasons. To me, there's not really a heavy grind at all. And perhaps what's most frustrating about all of this is the lack of learning from Halo Infinite's failures. One thing that Halo Infinite failed spectacularly on was progression elements to obtain the cosmetics within the game. And now they're saying here the only option for MCC to earn more season points is for you to buy them. There is no intent on looking into more challenges, more things to do to unlock them. It's just, here's a way to buy them. Again, the reason I'm frustrated about this is, of course, the state of Halo, but also the way they're so obviously trying to justify and sidestep it. And I love the pace at which they release stuff. It just feels like they're trying to justify things. And again, that's why I say they're going to go through with this. There's not enough noise or care for Halo right now. And that's why this is problematic, because Infinite was such a deflating thing over time. And now you're seeing them go to MCC and put microtransactions in there probably. And it's going to be one of those like, there goes that. It was fun loving Halo while it was great. Right? And I guarantee they're going to push more people away. You're not helping yourself out. You're not helping the franchise. If anyone from 343 is watching, I know you're just going to look at me, some YouTuber. Don't do this. Do not do this. This is going to be a horrendous look that the only conversation that'll start up for this game will be how greedy y'all have become and how you're hurting the franchise. Bad call, in my opinion. Do not do this. I think there's long-standing ramifications that they're not considering because they're probably banking on Infinite, bouncing back, and then in 4 years, I would imagine, things are all great. But that's 4 years. And there's a lot of other cool stuff coming to Xbox in the meantime. So it'll be interesting to see how it all goes, but that's what's going on with Halo Master Chief Collection. I mentioned Persona physical copies. So with the Nintendo Direct Mini today, they showed off, of course, that it is coming to Switch, being Persona 5 Royal, 4 Golden, 3 Portable. This was to be expected. I don't know why people were so worried and in doubt. I mean, this was more requested than Xbox. Let's be honest with ourselves, to anyone watching. I'm so happy to see Persona coming to Xbox, but this was more than any other platform requested to come to Switch, right? Starting with Joker becoming a guest character in Smash, the speculation has been rampant, and people are very excited for this. They know there's so much money in the Switch. These games were built for the Switch. Persona 4 Golden was originally a Vita game, so it's going to be right at home on the Switch. Persona 3 Portable, the name says it, portable game, right at home on the Switch. I think it makes a lot of sense here, so there was no doubt in my mind these were coming to Switch. They provided this chart here, and you'll see on the bottom, it says with an asterisk, digital only. And so they provide platforms. Now, for Persona 5 Royal, the only digital platforms are Game Pass, Windows, Steam, which means that, yes, you see right there for the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One, there will be, alongside PlayStation 5 and Switch, physical copies of the game. This was something we got some write-ins about on Defining Duke. There was a lot of evidence suggesting this would be the case. It is happening, so I would recommend going out and getting that spicy physical copy. I know I'll be doing that, even though I already had the Phantom Thieves edition for Persona 5 Royal. I also had the collector's edition for the original launch. Doesn't matter to me. Getting another physical copy for Xbox. Want to support these JRPGs on Xbox. Unfortunately, though, you'll also see in this chart with the asterisk is that it's loaded up for Persona 4 Golden as well as Persona 3 Portable. They are not coming to any of the platforms physically, sadly. I find this deflating because right now, the only way you can get Persona 4 Golden physically is on PS Vita, where I think it's at its best, and I love it there, and I own it there, but I would love for more people to have the opportunity to get their hands on this game. Persona 3 Portable on PSP is incredibly expensive. All the Persona games on PSP, complete in box, are super expensive. So again, I'd love to have these alternatives because it would balance out the market a bit more, but also give people the opportunity to preserve these games. So, upsetting to see. Hopefully this changes course and maybe like a limited run involvement happens here where they work with Atlas to produce physical copies for 4 and 3. That would be excellent. But Persona 5 is getting a physical re-release and it's coming to Xbox, which is awesome to see that that'll have store shelf present. Last bit of news here, Xbox outsells the PS5. I swear, man, I see so many fanboys like celebrating this, and I think it's the weirdest thing ever to have like this much like pound your chest pride over this types of news. But I think it is worth at least discussing, maybe not celebrating though. Let's get into it. This article writes, this time, however, both the Xbox Series X and Series S fared almost equally as well for the week of June 13th to the 19th, with the Series X selling 3,272 units and the Series S selling 3,423 units. By comparison, both versions of the PS5 sold 3,035 units combined for the week, which is less than half of the Xbox Series total. These numbers come from a report from Famitsu published on June 23rd. So, this is what I mean by it being kind of weird to celebrate this, because number one, we're talking about a week, and we're also talking about supply shortages. To double up on PlayStation in a week, that is something worth just looking at and thinking maybe Xbox is gaining some form of foothold in Japan, because this does arrive the same week as when Xbox made the full commitment to Japan with Wo Long, with Persona, with Hideo Kojima. So this could be potentially immediate impact, but also as xCloud is going to other regions in the world, it's getting better, it's becoming more stable. They're doing the Xbox Game Pass on Samsung TVs where you just need a controller. So there's a lot of factors here at play that were all announced the week before or the day before in the case of June 12th with a bunch of games where these could have been driving factors as to why people wanted to pick up an Xbox. So to me, it just makes sense anecdotally why we would see more Xboxes being sold that week. People saw things they liked that they wanted to buy into for the future of Xbox, and they grabbed one. I don't think PlayStation has had many announcements as of late outside of their recent State of Play, which was a banger. But you also have to remember Final Fantasy VII had a ton of announcements for the platform, plus Crisis Core. I just think this is the impact of some of Xbox's announcements on an early level, plus what they announced the week before, again, with the Samsung TVs. Otherwise, though, I don't think this is worth the overreaction. It's about consistency. And I think until Xbox starts delivering, that this is just going to be the occasional headline that gets people to click and go, oh, wait, they outsold them. What happened here? But again, it's just kind of a once in a while thing. If come 2023, when Xbox is releasing games and we start to see a consistency in this, that's to me where things will get more significant, because then you have, let's go back to the first story of this video, Battle Network, a game that should be there day and date, will almost be a guarantee to be their day and date if they continue to grow in Japan. Although what's weird is Battle Network was really popular here in the States too, so why they can't sell it on Xbox here, I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you in today's Xbox news update. Let me know what you're thinking about this in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.